This is page 274, and we're only going to do two problems on this page. We're going to do numbers 16, and we're going to do number 18. We're going to skip 17. 17 is about a 2 or 3 part problem, and there's some stuff on there that I haven't taught you yet, and I'm not going to go over right now. So we're just going to do 16 and 18. All right, number 16. Way more complicated than it looks, especially since we're going to use a calculator to do the larger computations. All right, read it with me. The volume of a pyramid with a square base is given by the expression 1/3 s squared times h, where s is the length of the side of the base and h is the height. Find the volume of a pyramid with a square base, side length 24 feet, and a height of 30 feet. So what are we supposed to do? Well, they give us the expression. It's right here. I'm going to rewrite it. The expression they give us is 1/3 times s squared times h, and then they tell us what s and h are, and that's really all we have to do. We just have to go through and follow through with this expression. It says s is the length of the side, right here, side length 24 feet. So I'm going to take s out and I'm going to put in 24 instead. I'm going to put 24 right here. 24 gets squared because s was getting squared. I'm going to put 1/3 here. I'm going to put h here, and h is 30. It says height of 30. So now I ask myself, what do I do first? Well, according to PEMDAS, I would do exponents before I would multiply. And 1/3 right next to 24, that means multiply. And 24 squared right next to 30, that means multiply. So I definitely have multiplication problems, but I do exponents first. So the first thing I do is 24 squared. And I'm going to use my calculator for that. And 24 squared looks like this, 24 times 24. And that's going to be a big old number, 576. That's on your multiplication chart, but you could also use a calculator. So now I didn't bring down the rest of the problem. I've got 576. I need to do 1/3 of that, and I need to multiply that by 30. And you could go out of order here if you wanted to, but once you do the parentheses in the exponent, you're supposed to multiply or divide from left to right. So I should start right here and do 1/3 of 576. I'm actually going to put this over here out of the way and extend my whiteboard. What is 1/3? How do you do 1/3 of 576? Well, 1/3 of 576 is 1/3 times 576 over 1, which is actually the same thing. It's 1 times 576 over 3 times 1. And that's actually the same thing as division. It's just this, it's funny, this looks like multiply, but it's the same thing as 576 divided by 3. And 3 goes into 5 once. And 3 goes into 27 9 times. And 3 goes into 6 twice. I get 192. So 1/3 of 576 is 192. And I could prove that by going 576 divided by 3 is 192. Now I have to do that times 30, which is going to be funny because I'm going to get, it's kind of like multiplying by 3 and ending in 0. So I get back up to 576, but there's a 0 on the end. 192 times 30 is 5,760. So there's all my work. I need to create just a little bit of space to write my answer. The answer is 5,760. And this is feet, and it's to the 3rd power. And if you're wondering why it's to the 3rd power, it's because volume is 3 dimensions. If this were an area question, it would be to the 2nd power, because area is 2 dimensions. This is a volume question, so it's to the 3rd power. Okay, that was fairly complicated, but you have those skills, so it wasn't too bad. Let's go ahead and check out the bottom of the page. We're going to go ahead and I'll just model for you that we're going to skip number 17, so you can put skip right here, skip 17A and B, and instead we're going to skip down to number 18. Marjorie evaluated the expression 3x plus 2 for x equals 5 as shown. And so what she did, I think, here was she wrote 3x plus 2. She wrote this right here, and that she copied it down, right? That goes right there. And then she wrote 35 plus 2. Why would she have written 35 plus 2? Maybe you don't see what she did, but I'll show you what I would have done. And this will maybe help you see what she did. So if I knew the expression was 3x plus 2, and I knew that x is equal to 5, I would rewrite it as 3 times 5 plus 2, and I would do 3 times 5 is 15, and 15 plus 2 is 17. That's what I would have done. What did she do? She did 3x plus 2, and she wrote it like this. And what does that look like? That looks like 35 plus 2, and 35 plus 2 is 37. So do you recognize at this point what she did? What she did was she took the x out right here and she replaced it with the 5, but she forgot that that needed to be multiplication. And in algebra, we put the 5 inside parentheses to show that it needs to be multiplication. Because if you leave that out, it kind of just looks like 35 rather than 3 times 5. So that's exactly what she did. I'm going to help you write that. When she rewrote the equation, or the expression, replacing x with 5, it looked like 35 plus 2 when it should have been 3 times 5 plus 2, which is a different problem. In other words, she did 35 plus 2 and she needed to do 3 times 5 plus 2. Okay, awesome job. You are done with page 274 and you're done with lesson 10.2.